Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. What I wanted to show you guys today was, I guess it's kind of an unboxing if you want to call it that, but I'm actually going to use the product here. We are setting up our classroom area, our covered overhang classroom area, to teach more blacksmithing classes in the coming year. We have 3 individual stations that we've purchased that include a coal forge with an electric fan, a foot jack with a stand, and a 70-pound North Carolina anvil. And then we have a full set of tools for each student as well. So we'll have 3 of those setups before February. We've got them here now. I'm setting them up as we speak. And we're going to have 5 of them set up in here before the March class, so that each student or pair of students will have an individual forge and set up with tools to work on to learn the basics of blacksmithing. Okay, so let's first talk a little bit about some of these tools. I want to introduce you to some of this stuff because if you're looking to invest in forging at home and you want to spend the money on new equipment, this is about the best I've found for the money. That's why I'm using it at the school, and that's why I'm introducing it to you today. This is a North Carolina tool company stand, and this is a farrier's setup, like a traveling farrier. And the stand folds up. It's got a very simple system on it that vices the anvil into place with a lock so that you can take the anvil completely off the stand. The anvil weighs 70 pounds, and it's a brand new farrier's type anvil by North Carolina. Once you lock that thing in place and tighten it down, that thing's not going anywhere no matter how much you beat on it. Okay? Now, you got a tool tray on here, and you've got a foot vise. And this foot vise is a spring-operated vise that opens up a set of jaws. Again, really made for horseshoeing, but that thing holds really, really well. So if you had to do some hot file work on a blade that you were making, or you had to make a quick turn or a bend in something, and you just needed a quick vise, this thing is dandy fine, and it's right in front of you. So it works really, really well. It comes with this stand when you buy it. This stand is about, I want to say the stand is about $350, and the anvil's right at $300, $350, something like that. So you're going to have about $700 right here in this. But you've got everything you need to get started right here as far as pounding metal on. And you've got a tray right here to put your tools in as well. Now, the tools that we're using at the school, we've got a certain set of tools that we give every student so that all the students have the same tools. We've got a couple Petting-Haas hammers here, a Swedish style and a cross-peen style hammer. We've got just an old horseshoe rasp for doing hot filing, a square for doing measuring. They've got a good stiff wire brush with a wood handle on it for cleaning off their metal, and 3 different sets of tongs. You've got a set of wolf jaw tongs with short reins that are pretty good for holding about anything. That's not too big or too wide. You've got a set of turning tongs or scrolling tongs, and then a set of like bolt tongs that are also really good for holding on to smaller pieces of rebar, blades, and things like that. So with these tools, you can get a really good start. Everything else that you would need, you can make pretty quickly as far as hot cuts, hot punches. Those type implements are fairly easy and quick to make because they don't have to be heat treated. So they can simply be formed on the forge, forged hot, and then let normalize or air cool, and they'll be fine to use on your forge. So there's not a big complicated process in making something to cut things off with or something to punch holes with. Now we do have cut-off hardies as well for each one of these anvils, and for some reason it's not in this bucket, so it must be over there. I'll chase that down and I'll show that to you as well. The last tool that we give the students is a hot cut tool. It's a hardy hot cut that can be put in their anvil in the hardy hole. These need to be cut down just a little bit before the first class so they come in and out really easy from the hardy. They're a little bit big. We'll grind those down before class starts and they'll be ready to go with a nice new hot cut as well. So you've got the tools that you need right here to get started making tools, making implements, making camp implements, making knives and things like that are all right here. Now let's talk about the forge real quick because it's a pretty nice little forge too. Now this is a Centaur forge, okay? And I didn't mention a minute ago and I apologize, but that bucket of tools right there is about $220, $230. That would be the investment you'd have to make if you were going to buy those tools for yourself, brand new. The Centaur forge right here, this has got a nice torn in the bottom of it with an ash dump at the very bottom. It's got a squirrel fan, 115 volt variable speed with a switch on it here on the back side. You just turn the rheostat, comes on high, and you can turn it down by the switch, turn it back up, or turn it off. You got a nice big tray here that's made out of solid steel to hold your metal. You've got openings on both sides to be able to put longer pieces of metal in there. It's got nice heavy duty legs on it. It is portable. The pot lifts completely out of the stand. It's not bolted down. The forging pot, it's made out of cast iron. And then you've got the steel stand with steel legs that just bolt into it. And the electric fan that goes into the back of it just bolts right up to the bottom of the tureen there at the bottom where your ash dump is. And it also has a clinker breaker right here on it that you can turn to break up any clinkers on the bottom. So this is a really, really nice forge setup for a beginner to start off with. Plenty of room in here to do any project that you'd want to do starting out. A forge like this is about 600 bucks. So that's with the fan, the rheostat, the Torin, the whole thing. This comes just like it is right here in the box, and it's right out about 600 bucks. So you got about 600 bucks in this. You got about another 700 bucks in the anvil and stand. Then you got another $200-300 in tools. So you're looking at about a $1,500 to $1,600, $1,700 investment somewhere in that neighborhood. But you're ready at that point to start forging, because there's really nothing beyond that that you can't make for yourself. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'll be back to another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.